It's just 4 years now since Saliha Osmanovic buried her son here. This is the first time she's been able to return to Srebrenica, where he was killed.
Mama rodila najsrećnija sam bila. Uvijek kako ste me slušali, učili mami školu dobro i sve to sad. Jer će majka odgroti me, začim se vrati. Život. Nisi sine zaradio da ovakvom trnju ležiš. Moja. Sama ti je mama bome sine došla, ni babe ni brata nemaš.
On July 11th, 1995, 5 days after Saliha Osmanovic's son was killed, the Muslim town of Srebrenica in eastern Bosnia fell to the Bosnian Serb army. The world's first United Nations safe area became the site of the worst massacre in Europe since World War II. Mrs. Osmanovic's husband, Ramo, and second son, Nermin, attempted to escape. Ramo was captured by Serb soldiers, and for a moment, by a Serb cameraman.
Hajde dolamu, ja sam dolamu!
Kod koga, kaži?
Kod Rame!
Pa jevo te Ramo, kaži kod Srba.
Kod Srba!
Tako, kaži kod Srba.
Nermine! Hajde dolam, ja sam dolamo, slobodno kod Srba! Svi ajte!
This is the last glimpse of Ramo Osmanovic. Saliha Osmanovic's husband and son disappeared, becoming part of a terrible statistic, the 7,414 missing men of Srebrenica.
Na filmu ono što je bilo. I vidjela sam ga ja, on zove Nermina. Ovako stavio ruke i zove Nermina. I zove ga hajdolan babi.
Nermine!
Ekran, brzina je tu, znaš, ali fino ja vidim mog muža, vidim odjeću šta je na njemu i vidim da je on.
Svi ajte! O, Nermine!
In the old salt mines under the Muslim town of Tuzla, they still store more than 1,000 nameless bodies from Srebrenica. Coming to this awful place, it's impossible to escape the reality that this happened in Europe at the end of the 20th century. Today, like thousands of other women of Srebrenica, Saliha Osmanovic still waits for news of her husband and son. Now, on the 4th anniversary of the massacre, Saliha is making a painful journey. Along with hundreds of other widows and survivors of Srebrenica, she's going back for the first time into Serbian territory and to the place where it all began.
Mi moramo njima zajam vratiti. Ajde, slušaj. Moramo četnicima vrat zajam.
Moja djeco, moja odavle, sije mladića.
This was the base for 450 Dutch UN peacekeepers just outside Srebrenica. The Dutch soldiers were responsible for watching over the first United Nations safe area. But between the 11th and the 14th of July, 1995, faced with 25,000 desperate refugees, the UN peacekeepers and the international community stood by as men were separated from women by the Bosnian Serb army. Within a few days, thousands of men were massacred in nearby fields, schools and warehouses. 4 years later, the women of Srebrenica are still looking for the bodies of their men and for answers from the world which looked on and did nothing.
Sjećaju se ljudi u Bosni koja je ovo noć i koji će nastupiti dani. Moje misli su neprekidno zaokupljene jednim. Srebrenica, 11. juli 1995. godina. Prisjećam se trenutka u kome sam posljednji put gledala, nisam vas čak uspjela ni poljubiti.
Poklanjam Fatihu svim našim sinovima, moja dva i sviju majki po 5 i po 2, poklanjamo im Fatihu. To su i dušmani pobili, to su i dušmani, holandski dušmani, četnički dušmani su ih pobili, niko drugi. Samo holandski dušmani, četnički, niko više. Holandjani, ako ima ovdje novinara od Holandjana, recite mi ko je. Molim vas, ako ima holandski ovdje novinar, recite mi ga, dajte mi ga, da mu ja sudim.
Hasan Nahanovic lost his entire family here.
My mother, I know that she's dead. But I want to know what happened to my brother, what happened to my father. Then, when I know that, I want to know where their bodies are, to bury them properly, to be identified, if possible, of course. And also, I want to know who killed them, and I want all these murderers to be arrested and punished. Otherwise, I will never find peace in my life.
Oh, I think there's no doubt that something went wrong, horribly wrong. Srebrenica remains the worst massacre in Europe since World War II. It's also taken on a significance of its own, I think. It's crying out for an explanation, not just of what the Serbs did in Srebrenica and to the people of Srebrenica, but also